Hey members, it's Kim. Welcome to Fortunate Creations. You know who I am because you're my members. So, for the August members only video, we're going to learn how to do the happy pill. Da, 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 da. So, right now, somebody at work ordered them from me. So, I've got yellow and blue and red. She wanted two yellow, a blue, and a red. So, I got it. So, I'm going to set them aside. As you can see, they're about this tall. What is that? 6 inches, maybe 7. And there we go. So how do I do it? What do I need? Well, first of all, let me tell you guys, I'm going to do this video as if it's one live video. I'm not going to cut and edit. I might have to make it two and piece it together because this only allows 30 minutes, but we'll see. Okay. So the one I want to do is purple. So I'm going to go over here and grab a purple yarn. So you're going to need two different colors. You're going to need a white. Well, for what I'm doing, you're going to need a white and then another color. So I'm using white and purple for this one. So you're going to start with any 4 weight. Right now I'm using the Caron 1 pound. This is purple, eggplant purple. But to you guys, it's looking blue. But anyway, okay. I'm using white for the bottom half. And I'm using black for the mouth. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stuff it with the same colors that I'm making it out of. It makes it look a lot better. I like it. So I want a 5mm hook. Going to start with a magic circle. And in the magic circle, you're going to put 6. If I can get my fingers to work, you're going to put 6 single crochet. Okay. So 1, 2, no, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because the next row is going to be 16 and then the next row after that is 24. So 8, 16, 24. And I know all of you that are members know how to do that, so I'll just do it quick like a bunny. Okay. Now, there we go. Gonna do continuous rows. I'm not gonna, so I just count the stitches and then I know I'm done with the row, right? So I'm not gonna chain 1, do another row, anything like that. Okay, so now we have 8, we need 16 in this one. So it's 2 in every stitch. Excuse my nail polish, it's really terrible, but I've been taking care of baby chicks and I don't have time to paint them. So they are what they are at the moment. Okay. Now I'm going to be selling these at the fair. I'm trying to do cute little things that'll be quick sellers, hopefully, at the fair. 14, 15, and 16. Okay. And then the next one, of course, to get up to 24, you do 1, and then 2, 3, 4, then double, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, 14, sorry about that, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Okay, so here we go. 24. Now, you're going to do 9 rows of 24. In the interest of time and editing time, yeah, I'll just keep going. All right, so you're going to want a stitch marker. I just use a piece of yarn and then a way to keep track of how many rows you do. Sometimes I do pieces of yarn. Sometimes I do just 8 or 9 of whatever's in front of me. So one, I can use, I'll use my needles, okay? So I'm going to stitch mark it, and then after each round, I'm going to move one of my needles over here to mark what row it is in my brain. Okay. And it really works up fast, you guys. Now this pattern, I'm using it as a happy pill. You can also use it as the cactus. You can use it as a cucumber. You can use it as a pickle. Anything that shape, right? It works, anything that shape. And then you can work off of it from there. As I was making so many of these, I'm like, well, yeah, this shape could be used for just about anything. I do use hot glue for the eyes because I like to hot glue in safety eyes. It's just how I roll. This is a pretty color purple. I wish it looked purple to you guys. It's weird. What does this look like? That's a light blue. I don't know. Quit wasting time. Get yourself going. Okay. Okay, move up the thread for my stitch marker. Secure that in there and move over needle number 1. And that's how I do it. It depends on what I have near me. You know, the other night I was using crochet hooks. And this is so that I don't have to count really. I just find 8 of something and then move them over. And when the pile's empty on this side, I know I'm done. That way I can watch TV, I can talk. A lot of times I'm doing this at work, so there's other people in the room with me. So, you know, I try not to be rude and like if they're talking to me, I don't want to be 7, 8, 9. Let them know I'm counting. Although I did this to a woman the other day because she was just too much. She was just too much. Um, so English is her second language. Okay. So she struggles with a conversation with those of us in the break room. Move up the thread. So she asked if we minded, move over a needle, if she watched a video, and we didn't care. So we're like, no problem. So then she proceeded to translate it, and it was political. And so anyway, my point being, I like to be able to have a conversation with people if I choose to and not be counting when I'm at lunch. So then that's why I do this. Then I just know when one pile's moved over to here, we're good. I'm ready to go. So I figure if I make up a bunch of these with the little signs, now all I did was I printed those words out and then I laminated them using packing tape, really thick packing tape. And then I have cardstock. So I laminated the sign to the cardstock. So it looks kind of cute. And then I just hot glued them into the pill's hands, which I will go over all of that later. See how fast this goes? I mean, we're already done with row 3 and starting row 4. Quick, quick, quick. I timed myself the other day with interruptions, and it was 45 minutes. So that's pretty cool. All right. So the baby chicks, let's talk about them. I went ahead and went into the basement and I got out the play pen. I think they call them pack and plays now. I had one when Fritzy was a baby because he was just so tiny. I didn't want him to get stepped on and I wanted to know where he was at all times. He was less than a pound when I got him. So I went to a nearest next to new shop and they sold me a Greco pack and play for $5. You heard me right. $5. So, oh, I might stop up there today. I think they're open. Random Friday off, right? So I used that pack and play till Fritzy was like, I don't know, till I'd had him for about 4 months. And then he got big enough to where, we were used to how little he was and used to watching out for him. So I put the pack and play in the basement. You all know how much I love the basement. So yesterday, I brought home the chickens from work. So what happened was the second graders, every year, they hatch chicks. Okay. Each room gets a dozen eggs from a local 4-H farm on their field trip. They go to a field trip, they go to the farm, they pick out their eggs. Okay. Well, each room got 20 or 12 eggs. Yeah, 12 eggs. Only 4 hatched out of all of those eggs. And it turns out that the kind of chickens that they were a high yield egg. I don't know, like 2 a day, right? So the roosters that they had to fertilize the eggs could not keep up with fertilizing the hens fast enough. So more of the eggs were not fertilized than fertilized. So that's how we ended up with just four viable chicks, they're cute. So anyway, every year there's usually a family that takes them, or one of our maintenance guys is a farmer and he takes them. But I guess last year he took them, and being a farmer, he doesn't coddle them like those of us that aren't on a farm and we're treating them as pets. So he just put them in the barn. He didn't have a coop. He didn't have the heat lamps, this and that. I don't know the outcome, but apparently it wasn't good because I have the chicks this year. So they came, I said to them, if you don't have anybody to take the chicks, because I'm new, I didn't know the process. I said, I'll take them. Now at this point, two things. I didn't realize each room had a dozen, and that it was a possibility that I could come home with 4 dozen babies. But as luck has it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As luck has it, I'm on row 7. Only 4 hatched. Now I considered there's some kind of agriculture law around here that when you buy the baby chicks from like Tractor Supply, you have to buy 6. I don't know if I don't know. But anyway, they make you buy 6. So I almost went to Tractor Supply and bought 2 more. But you know what? It's a cute little flock that I have. Now, the school that I work at is called Octay. So I call it my little flocktay. Yep, I crack me up. I can't help myself. So my little flocktay is in there. Now, I had originally named them after the teachers, but I don't like those names. I want something cuter. Now that I know them, I want cuter names. So should I wait until I know if they're male or female, or should I do gender neutral names? I thought of one. You guys know I love Elton John. Eggston John. But I don't know if I like that either. So I'm waiting on the names, but they are my little flocktay, and I do love them already. I've only had them not even 24 hours. They're starting to. I swear they've grown since yesterday. Like their feathers are bigger than they were yesterday. I'm telling you right now. That was pretty cool. 2 of them have tail feathers starting. 2 of them don't. Now I know that 2 of them were born almost 4 days before the other 2. And I got to watch one of them hatch. Ooh, Molly Hatchet. Well, that's it. Now, I need an idea, you guys. How am I supposed to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we got 1 more. How am I supposed to tell them apart? I was going to tie a bow on them, but I know that if chickens see anything on each other, they peck it and they'll hurt each other. So I don't want to do that. Should I paint their toenails? But I don't want to put lacquer on them and hurt their toenails. So I'm going to have to see if you guys have any ideas. I know, Melissa, you might have one, because you've got all the chickadas. See how fast this works up, you guys? We're only 15 minutes into this, and we're halfway done with the body. So, and I've been jabber-jawing and taking sips of coffee. If you just put your nose to the grindstone and get to it, you might cut off a minute or two. But I figured these are going to be adorable for the fair. And then I'm going to think of a couple, like a pickle, right? I'm your emotional support pickle when life puts you in a pickle, or something to get you out of life's I don't know. Haven't thought of it yet. Haven't processed it yet, but it'll come to me. And now we're on the last row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 9. Nope, we just did the last row. Okay, so there it is. Now I'm going to take that back out because this is where I want to introduce the new color. So I move that and I'm going to introduce white. Okay. If you could see the mess I have right here. I feel like I'm singing a Disney song. You would understand, my dear. All right. I might actually upload this in 2 parts because I can upload right from this program to YouTube, and I think it'll go quicker. So I'm going to do it in part 1 and part 2. Okay, so now we're going to do 9 rows of this color, and I'm just going to put the needles back as I do it. Okay. And yes, I made this pattern up myself by looking at other people's patterns and realizing I had the concept and I didn't like their pattern. So I was like, no, I'm just going to go ahead and, it's in the round. How hard is that, right? It's in the round. I think I had to the hardest part was how many stitches did I want to make the whole thing? So that was the hardest part. And then 24 is perfect, I did try making these teeny tiny, like the size of my thumb. Not fun. Not fun at all. So I decided to make them a little bit bigger. Okay, so here's round 1 of the white. And again, no slip stitching and chain 1, just keep going. Go ahead and, what did I do with it? There it is. Go ahead and put your stitch marker in there and just keep going. Keep stitching, keep stitching. Okay. So this is a Friday. Right now when I'm recording this, it's May 23rd and it's miserable out. I'm supposed to be camping, but my family's not going to the camp because it's miserable. But you guys are actually going to be seeing this on my birthday, August 1st. So that's when I'm uploading. I'm trying to, if I record ahead, it makes it easier for me. So then I can just put them in YouTube to release on a certain date. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So again, my process with this is when all the needles are over there, I know that I'm finished. And I do use the same color yarn to stuff as I do on each end. So I'm going to take some of the purple and I'm going to take some of the white. I was also thinking of making up little kits, kind of like the Woobles, but making up little kits on how to make the Happy Pill and selling them, right? So I could cut the exact amount of yarn for each one that I need and put a picture of the Happy Pill on the front and then just sell them. I think that'd be cute. So somebody ordered, I think I mentioned in the beginning that somebody ordered 4 of these, and I charged her $10 a piece. I feel weird charging my friends, but they insist. So I went on Etsy. They were anywhere from 12 to 20 bucks for these things. So I went right up the middle, sort of, and I figured $10 a piece, and we're good. Oops, that's the 3rd row. I was jabberjawing and forgot to move my stitch marker. So we're on row 3 already. See, it goes quick. 20 minutes in, people. 20 minutes in, people. Like I said, I'm not doing any editing to this, so I just want it as if we were sitting here live. I also will I will upload the pattern for you guys. And if you would like, I will send you a little kit as part of your membership. So there's another perk. I will put all of this into a little kit, and I will send it to you guys. If you email me and let me know you want one. Okay? You know my email. It's in my info. Oh, this yarn is... I'm using scrap yarn, so it's tangled. So, there we go. Moving on up. There we go. The funny thing, and I'm going to admit something to you guys right now, I have a hard time counting crochet rows. I don't know why. I get myself confused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. I get myself confused. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, it's easy like with some stitches. Like if you're looking, I don't know, double and treble. But with the single crochet, I get myself all worked up. Like I lose count. Ah! Now this is all yarn that I got at Goodwill for like $2 a pound of yarn. So, yeah. So that's all profit on this, right? If you think about it, if I sell these, it's all profit. What are we at? 23 minutes. Not bad at all. You could probably do this in cotton as well, but I figured I had so much scrap, and you can see so many other colors behind me. I'm just going to go ahead and keep using this. Remember all that yarn I got from my brother? Well, there was a nice green that I think would be a good pickle. So I'm going to make that into a pickle. And of course, you're only using one color, right? You're only using the green on that. So, that'd be cute. Okay, here we go. Here I go again on my own. You knew I'd sing at least once, right? I miss you guys. I miss hanging out every morning. I do love my job, but I miss the year I had without one. It was nice to take a year off. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But I think that year was just separating between one life to another. You know, I couldn't do the sales life anymore. I just couldn't take it. And my daughter's feeling the stress of that right now because she's in sales. Same thing I did. And so I'm actually prospecting for her. Just shooting her leads if I see them. That's all. I'm just like, hey, I saw this on a billboard, or hey, I saw this commercial on a different network, you know. Anywhere you can get a lead is helpful, right? But I do miss hanging out with you guys every day. You're probably glad for the break from me, but all right, so I have 5 minutes left on this one because so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop this, and just like that, magic, I'm back. So we are on we're starting row 8 right now of the second color. We are 25 minutes into this, give or take, however my editing comes out. Like I said, I'm not really editing. I'm piecing together 2 videos. That's all I'm doing. I don't want to do editing. My life doesn't have patience for that. So when I'm done here, I think I'm going to put some shoes on and go hit up some, I might find some estate sales, and I might go, seriously. How bad do I want to snip, and just use that for stuffing? Pretty bad. But I won't. So there's this really cool thrift store. The one I mentioned that sold me the pack and play. I bet you they're going to have some fun stuff for the baby chicks. Let me check the live footage of the baby chicks right now. Yes, I have a live camera on them. So I put in a feather duster, and I put in a wire rim so they can learn to perch. So, because I know babies need to learn to perch. And the feather duster is to fill in and keep them warm like a mama hen. If I didn't have Fritzy, I would probably snuggle these babies more, but Fritzy will get a little jealous. He's shown a little bit of jealousy, nothing aggressive, but he's crying if I pay too much attention to the babies and not him. And I don't want him to be sad. So I am divvying up my time and finding other ways to make them safe and comfortable. Okay, so put this in here, and I'm on the last row before I start the reducing. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. All right, I'm on the last row. So I'm going to go ahead, move that up, and then we'll stuff it. Alexa, turn on the hot glue gun. Yes, I'm that spoiled. Okay. And I think, getting back to the chicks, people are like, why are you treating them like da 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 da? Well, here's my thought on that. These little thingies do not ask to be my pet. I chose them. They didn't choose me. So they don't have a choice. So I'm going to give them the best life I can. They got a new hutch that River Life and I are going to put together today. That'll be fun. So anyway, here we go. Oh, my nose is itchy. You would think with all this rain, the pollen would be gone, but it's not. Okay, so here I am, last stitch, last row. Taking out my stitch marker. Now I'm going to pull this up. You can clip it with a stitch marker if you want. I don't do it just because I don't do it. Okay. Now, take enough off the end to sew this up. And I'm going to use some white to stuff this end, and some purple right here. Hold on. to stuff the other end. Okay, that's a bit too much, so let's do this. Gotta make sure if I'm gonna mass produce these for any reason, I gotta make sure I'm not wasting, right? So don't stuff it with too much. So this looks like a good amount right here. Okay, so I ball it up and I stuff obviously the purple in the purple end. You can always add more. Make sure you keep your loop out so you don't mess yourself up because you got to close this up after, right? All right, so here we go. How's it feel? Pretty good. I want a little bit more. I want this much more. Okay. The first ones I made really hard. Like I stuffed them really, really tight. And I think they were too tight. Okay, so there we go. There's that. And then make sure you hold your thing out of the way because you're really going to be mad at yourself if you don't. And then here we go, stuffing this in here. I usually just wrap it around my finger and hold it over there. That way I can... This is the tail I'm still working with. And that way I can make sure I don't close up that loop or lose a stitch or anything. Okay, so here we go. Now, the next step, we're going to start to close it up, okay? So we're going to do the opposite of what we did here. We're going to work backwards. So we're going to do 6 groups of 2 single crochets and then a single crochet reduction, okay? 6 times. So here's 1, single, single, reduce. Is that what it's called? It's called something else, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know. There's an increase, decrease. That's what it is. Okay? So you're going to do that 6 times. I might not have given myself enough yarn, but with this pattern, it really doesn't matter. I can just cinch it closed at the end. Single, single, decrease. Single, single, decrease. Go all the way around, and I'm gonna run out of white doodah. That's all right. You guys will calculate better than I did. Okay. It's very forgiving. You can just add in the new yarn and just keep going. Decrease. Okay. Okay, and I think we're at the last one of these. 1. And then the next one, you're just going to do 1 to 1. You're going to do 1 single crochet and then 1 decrease. 1 single, 1 decrease. Okay, 6 times. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab a new end. There we go. Tuck this one in. I'll tie them together after. Okay. So we're going to do single crochet. Single crochet. And then now single crochet decrease. We'll go ahead and tie this together and tuck it in, because it's not ever going to be seeing the light of day again, so it doesn't really matter. So 6 times you're going to do single crochet and then single crochet decrease, single crochet and then a decrease. So here we go. Single, single decrease. Single, single decrease. And we're going to do this 6 times because it works out perfectly that way. Okay. Single, single decrease. Okay. Single decrease. And then the next round, we're just going to do decreases, okay? So I'm going to finish this. And then it's just decreases until you can't do them anymore. And it's going to cinch up and look exactly like this. It works out perfect. So 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, the lion's roar. 5, 6, monkey does tricks. Sorry, I've been playing with the baby. 7, 8, this is looking great. Okay, so now, like I said, just keep going until you can't do it anymore. And then on the last one, I actually put 3 together because it's just, okay, there we go. So we are 30 minutes into this, 35 minutes into this. Now, once you do this, just massage it around till it's the shape you want, okay? Keep in mind when you're stuffing it, the shape you want. Like, I don't want it that. Here you go. So this looks just like a pill. Oh my goodness, I love it. Every time I make one of these, I just love it more than the last time. I take a smaller hook and go ahead. I could have pulled this through when it was still open, but I didn't think of it. You'd think by now I would have, but not so much. So, I mean, you can use a needle and pull it through, or you can do like I did and then just snip it off. Aren't these the cutest little scissors? Okay, and then I just pull these in. Pull them through. And like I said, you can use your needle if you want. For some reason today, I feel like using a hook. So I'm going to go up as high as I can. I'm going to come down and I'm going to grab this purple. And I'm going to pull it up in here and hide it. There we go. Fun, fun, fun. And again, squish it all around, make it the size you want it. And here we go. Now, here's where you might differ from me because here's where I use hot glue. I like to glue the eyes in, okay? I know a lot of people don't like that, but I think that hot glue is yarn's best friend. So I guess it's all what your preference is, right? So here we go. Get rid of that. Okay. My purple pill. Now, so I grabbed the eyes. Let's get those. And with the hot glue, I don't even put the backs on them. Okay? I don't even put the backs on. So, find the spot that looks like the face to you. And you're going to put one eye there. Count over 2. 1, 2, and then put the other one right there. So this is how they're going to look. 2 between it. So then I take it out and I take the hot glue gun and I actually go right in the hole and squeeze it. And then I just take the eye and stick it right in there where I just put the hot glue. And it's perfect. If anything like this happens, you just take your little scissor and you go boop, and it goes away and you never see it and nobody knows. Okay? So there you go. We're going to try the other one. Come on. And if you have to work a little bit, like I said, I don't normally get that little bit on there like that. I'm normally much neater, but for some reason I'm clumsy right now. So straight in, squeeze a little, straight out. There you go. That one's perfect. And then just stick the eye right in there. It is not coming out. I mean, is it baby safe? I wouldn't say give it to a baby, but, and like I said, if you get some glue on the outside, you just trim it a little bit. It comes right off, and they're none the wiser. Okay. Ta-da! There's the eyes. Now, let's do the mouth. Okay. For the mouth, you have the black. You don't need a lot. Okay. And a needle. So I go in through the back of the head and I come out the one right below the eye. Okay, right below the eye. And thread the needle and pull it through. Okay, pull it through till you got a little bit on the end there. Like I said, you don't need a lot. Okay, now you're going to go to the one that's right between. See the hole that's right between the eyes? You're going to go right in there. Thread your needle again. Have some more coffee, Kim. Okay. And then you're going to come out the same one under the other eye. And it looks, and then go right back in the one you just came out of, and make sure you go back out the hole you went into. And here we go. Well, I'm wondering if a black mouth on purple is a good idea, but there he is. Hi, baby. And here's our little pill. Now I tie a knot and then I hide it. So I just tie a little knot in here. Maybe use red for the mouth if you're doing purple, because that's awfully dark. So you can't really, that's all right. He'll be mine. It's for the house. And then I just take the needle back through the same hole. You're doing everything with the black back through the same hole, okay? I feed both in at once. Maybe I'll get my nails done today. That'd be something, wouldn't it? Put them both in at once. Go as far away as you can. It's not going to show anyway. And pull it through, okay? Now, if you get a little poking out here, I just take the end of a hook and push it back in and say, nay, 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 you may not stick out here. And it's all gone. Hi. Hello, buddy. You're cute. Now, the arms. The arms are so easy, I can't even stand it. Okay. Take the white, or whatever you used as the bottom. Take the white or whatever you had as the bottom. And you're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to do 6 single crochets in the back bump. 1, 2, because you're starting at the second one, right? 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Yeah, there we go. 6. Pull it through, leave yourself room to tie it on, and you're done. Pull it out, make another one. Okay. One more. Chain 6. Use the same hook, same size hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Use the same size hook as you have used for your project. Okay. Okay, and a 1, 2, 3. Now I would like to do these crochet alongs with you guys, but I have noticed that when I do them, nobody crochets along with me. So it's just not as much fun. So it's much more fun. I'll put this out there and you guys do this when you're ready, right? Not when I'm forcing you to do it. Okay, so now both arms are done. And take our little guy. How cute he is. I can't even take it. And you're going to attach the arms equal distant away from each other. and then do it to both sides. And then you can put a sign between them if you like. Say whatever it is. You know, the sign I use is if you're happy and you know it, thank your meds, which I think is hysterical. But you can make it whichever saying you like, you know. You don't have to use mine. I actually used Chat GPT to give me some funny ones, but I didn't like his. I didn't like what it came up with. So I made up my own and came up with that. Okay. How about this is the med you can have with alcohol? All right, put this in there, tie this, and there you go. I got his little arm on right there. So then I tie a knot and do exactly what I did with the mouth. I tie the knot and hide it. And that is what I'm going to do on the other end as well. So, or the other side as well. As far away as possible, pull them through, and they're gone. Gone like a freight train, gone like yesterday. Gone like the tail that you hide all away. Sorry. You guys might not know that song. It's a country song called She's Gone. Okay. See that? Snip these guys off. And since you're using the same color yarn, it's really easy and forgiving. Here, I'll put them up here so you can see them. There you go. Yeah, I might use red next time if I'm going to do another purple one. And then you just make sure it's equal distance apart and put the other one in. Yeah, so it's about 45 minutes because this is the last 2 minutes of this. That's funny. So 45 minutes to make these if you make them like this. You know, if you put in your own little nuances. And of course the signs, I just make up a bunch of those. So that takes an extra, 5 minutes. So all I did was type it up in a Word document. And then I printed it, cut it out, and laminated it onto the sign. And I hot glued the sign in between his little hands. Came up with this. There we go. Hello, buddy. All right. So this is done, and that's that. Now, how cute would this be for a stocking stuffer? Or, I mean, you could, like I said, do it all in green, make it a cucumber or a pickle, or this would have actually made a really good pattern for that bowling pin I tried to do a while back. Now that I have it down, right? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you the Happy Pill. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out. Thank you for being my members. It means a lot. I know that I've got a million things going in a million different directions half the time, but I really appreciate that you guys stick with me. Thank you so much. And remember, always be happy, be kind, and be creative. See you guys next time.